Okay, so in this clip, we're going to talk about whether it makes sense for Fortnite to spend $30 million on the Fortnite World Cup, and does it make any business sense at all? So, but before we do, don't forget, whatever channel you're coming from, don't forget to follow us. Hit the little subscribe and the little bell button if you're on YouTube or whatever channel you're on, if you enjoy clips on entrepreneurship, business, gaming stuff, and more. So let's talk about this. The Fortnite World Cup, that's actually coming up. So people have to think about this, right? Does it make sense for a gaming company to spend $30 million on this World Cup that's been unproven? You know, we talk about the soccer World Cup, everybody knows about that. Well, here's the thing. Think about the soccer World Cup. Why can they spend so much money? I think the prize pool for the winning team, I think they win like $45 million or something like that. Where did he get all this money from? And so think about this first. The International, which is Valve, they basically sponsored the Dota 2, and they spend $100 million on the prize pool. But where they get the money from, Valve might put up $1.6 million, but a lot of the revenue they have coming in from their customers, their gamers, they actually end up dumping it back in, maybe investing, let's say 20 to 25% of those revenues and putting it into the tournament. With Fortnite, they're actually doing, it's not just $30 million for the World Cup, they're actually doing something very similar. It's a $100 million prize pool. So how does that make any sense? Well, okay, I just mentioned, let's say Epic Games, they might put up $1.6 million or whatever it is exactly. And then from there, they'll dedicate a portion of the revenues goes towards that. To them, it's a marketing expense. If you think about it this way, if we look at my screen real quick, let's take a look at YouTube real quick. So on YouTube, I'm looking at one of the most popular Fortnite gamers in the world, Tfue. He's got 11 million subscribers. Okay, he's got a ton of subscribers on Instagram, and he's got a ton of subscribers on Twitch as well. So he's omni-channel. I talk about omni-channel all the time on the Marketing School podcast. And look at his last video 20 hours ago, 1.3 million views. And then 1 million views one day ago, 2 million views. The title was just I am heated. This is 2 days ago. It's I am heated, okay, 2 million views. And the one before that, 1.5 million views. That's 4 days ago. Now Google themselves, Google, which owns YouTube, Google, one of the largest search engines in the world, or the largest search engine in the world, they said this. They said gaming has the highest retention, okay, by far, and watch time is also the highest as well. So people are very engaged and people are watching for a very long time. So the incentives around the search engines and also YouTube, it makes complete sense. They want people staying on their platform longer so people can watch ads for longer, okay? Now, if you look at Fortnite or Epic Games, they want more people, they want more awareness around what they're doing, okay? So if you got guys like Tfue around the world, you got people like Ninja, where they have millions of subscribers, we're talking hundreds of millions, billions of views, okay? Even with advertising, I mean, that's a really good deal, because not only that, Twitch is going to be streaming this, YouTube is going to be streaming this, everyone's going to be talking about this on Twitter. Okay, so the lifetime, the retention around this product itself, Fortnite, it extends out, right? So it's worth it, because Epic is doing billions a year, I think at least over $1 billion in revenue. So it makes sense for them to have a play like this, because $30 million, $100 million, especially when the large majority of that is they're not putting up that money, they're just using revenue to fund that. Yes, it is their money, but it's revenue they're using to fund that. It's a drop in the bucket. When you think about Gary Vee saying that Super Bowl ads are the best deal out there, you might spend $3 to $4 million, $5 million on a Super Bowl ad, but the attention's worth it because so many eyeballs are on it. So again, we're saying billions of views are getting on top of this, and it's worth it. So the other thing I want to bring your attention to here is, if we look at my screen, IMG Media, they're going to be distributing this across the board. If you're on a plane, for example, this is going to be distributed to, I believe, 13 airlines. And then if we look at my screen over here, IMG helps distribute for the NFL, the Open Championship, the NHL, Major League Soccer, NASCAR, Olympics, and then also, what else we got here? Premier League, okay, soccer, if you're a fan of Manchester United or just Manchester City, they got this too. So lots of distribution, lots of eyeballs. You got the influencers that are going to continue playing longer because they're involved with this World Cup, right? So they're talking about it. They're going to be more invested to stay around, especially if they win a couple $1 million, because the Fortnite World Cup, if you're a solos champion, you win $3 million. If you're a duels champion, you win $3 million. And also they have some other prize pools too. And then they're gonna have these contests where each week you can the winner might take home $1 million, or the prize pool is $1 million. So you have a lot of different options here, but it's keeping the game fresh. And it's keeping more people are going to talk about it, right? Because you got celebrities playing the game too. So in this world, you think about incentives everywhere. YouTube, okay, they want more people staying on the platform, watching longer. Okay, gaming will accomplish that, so that's why they're supporting gaming. Now, Fortnite, they just want more eyeballs on it. And then you got the influencers in there. How do you keep the influencers on there longer? You award them, you give them an incentive to stay on, you give them money, right? They want fame and they want money. Now, what I want to show you too is I'm using a tool here called TubeSift. If we look at my screen, I just searched for Fortnite World Cup, and I'm only looking for videos that have over 100,000 views in the last 30 days, okay? So right here, you can see, okay, this one has 1.2 million views. FaZe Sway destroys undefeated one-on-one god. Okay, great. That's 1.2 million views, 874,000 views, 745,000 views, 544,000 views. This is only me typing in Fortnite World Cup. Imagine all the other people that are just, they don't even have a Fortnite World Cup in their headline. So again, I'm talking probably a billion is 1,000 million. I think it's probably over 1 billion views that this thing's going to generate, and that is well worth the money. If you think about it from an advertising perspective, still well worth the money to get billions of eyeballs on this thing. There's a lot of literature around this, you know, Fortnite, $100 million prize pool. What's happening right now too, this is coming from a press perspective, when you look at what Valve has done, every single year they're constantly beating their own record, right? So they're saying, oh, it's going to be, we're going to have the largest prize pool in esports or gaming history, $100 million, right? And then Fortnite comes out with this, they're like, yeah, we're going to do a $100 million prize pool. Everyone ends up talking about it, right? So what happens is you get a press effect too. So you got IMG distributing, you got the influencers talking about it, and then the press is also talking about it. So it's creating this feeding frenzy around this World Cup. You got Valve and Epic trying to outdo each other. So as soon as I think Fortnite announced $100 million prize pool, then Valve comes back and says, oh, okay, let's add $105 million or whatever it is exactly. So they try to outdo them. So what's going to happen is people are going to try to continue to one-up each other. And this is good for the gaming industry as well because there's more money coming into the ecosystem, right? You got people investing in esports team. 100 Thieves just raised $35 million for their Series B to continue to grow. So it's just going to get bigger and bigger. I still think it's very nascent right now, but it does make business sense to put 30 million or 100 million into these World Cups because you're paying for attention at the end of the day. And if you're funding it with revenue, the way you've structured that deal, it's a pretty good deal at the end of the day. So before you go, let me know what you think in the comments. Does it actually make sense for these companies to spend so much money on these types of World Cups or these prize pools, right? I kind of gave you my reasons, but you can agree or disagree with me. And also, don't forget to check out the next video. Okay, it's gonna help us. It's gonna help you. It's gonna be beautiful. And don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. And if you're on YouTube, hit the little bell button too, because you get notified the next time I do a beautiful video like this, because you're beautiful too. So that's it for today, and we'll see you tomorrow.